What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another reaction. In today's video, we are checking out the fifth music video in this series by OnlyOneOf, the fifth member of this wonderful group, who is named Mill, and the music video is called Beat. Now, before we get into it, there is a message as it was the case with the rest of the music videos that we checked out in this series, and the message reads as follows: "We don't easily notice our hearts beating." I guess that's why the song is called Beat, as if heartbeat. "Once in a blue moon, we feel our hearts beating when we actually put our hands on our hearts. But it's not like we listen to the sound of our hearts on a regular basis. The thing is, though, I genuinely felt my heart beating the moment I saw you. Clearly, you changed everything when I saw you, and I felt my heart beating." Which, when you're in love with someone, when you get excited about something or someone, uh you kind of go into like this adrenaline mode where your heart, you can literally feel it in your ears. You can feel the heartbeat throughout your entire body. You can even look at your fingers and something, and you can see the pulse and whatnot. You can feel the heartbeat throughout your entire body. So I'm guessing this is going to be another introduction. He seems like a schoolboy or a high schooler in this situation. And the frame starts with a phone booth, which is kind of symbolic with the last series that we saw in the conversation between Rie and Junji, if I'm not mistaken. As we had that sunset, one of the guys was in that phone booth, and it was almost like, to me, like the sunset on this relationship. And obviously we then checked out the Rie music video that kind of explained, the other side of the coin. So this is going to be like a different story within that same universe, but I'm guessing this is going to be part one, obviously. And I'm very intrigued because the song so far, um like I decided to react to Yujon, right? I decided to start reacting to this series because it was requested quite a bit. But also, I stayed for this series not just because of the wonderful music, but also how tastefully the message was delivered, and how much that message relates to various things in life rather than just a relationship between two people of the same gender. Like they truly portray issues within a relationship, within a love scenario that relates to more than just two people of the same gender. It relates to relationships in general. It relates to various topics in general that could be taken, and you can take the same principles and apply them to various things. Love's for something and not just for someone. That you hide your feelings because of fear of letting your parents know, or letting someone else know that you do something, or that you are with someone, and how those things kind of work out in the end when somebody feels like, hey, I don't want to be in the shadows. I want to be with you, and I want the whole world to know. Well, much like in that last series, Rie wasn't really ready for that, which is why even when they were at that pool, they were there during night hours, which, it was empty. And much like with Yujan, whenever Yujan was dancing in that first music video, he was being himself only when no one was watching. And if it wasn't for KB, who caught him being himself and actually invited him and kind of like unlocked his potential, so to speak, and brought him to his own world, um, you know, uh, it, it, but then Yujan was still kind of very hesitant and very fearful, as we saw with him being covered by that blanket, whereas KB was out in the open. He didn't care. Like, it really, that scene alone really showed off their very different personalities, and how it even showed, like, in contrast, how Junji and Rie would feel. Like, Yujan was almost like the Rie to KB's Junji, who wanted to be out in the open, but Yujan was kind of like covering himself. He was kind of like, even though no one was watching him, but he was kind of like it represented like a feeling of fear, a feeling of, am I doing the right thing? Should I even be here with this person? Whereas KB was just like, I am who I am, and if you don't like it, you can F off, essentially. He was very confident about himself. So, yeah, very excited about this whole music video. So without any further ado, this was a long ass intro. I apologize. Let's check this one out. Oh.
Yeah, 차원이 달라 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 올라갈 준비해. Yeah, I wanna make it big. Wanna tell them 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 대로운 세계로 join 선을 그어.
So beat, it's almost like a reference to Michael Jackson, just beat it, as well as a hard beating. This sounds like it's going to be my favorite song out of the 5 now that we checked out. Damn, that was unexpected.
Yeah, 차원이 달라 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 올라갈 준비해. Yeah, I wanna make it big. Wanna tell them 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 대로운 세계로 join 선을 그어 나던 레벨이 교착점 미끄러운 잭슨 moonwalk Billy. I'm stressed I don't breathe up 원한 다음 집어삼키지 너의 뒤를 take it like a thriller 머리를 휘날리며 몰아 vroom vroom zero back 터널하는 한순간.
Wait, was he being bullied or something?
I'm stressed I don't breathe up 원한 다음 집어삼키지 너의 뒤를 take it like a thriller 머리를 휘날리며 몰아 vroom vroom zero back 터널하는 한순간에 cry rap on set 여러 조금 오는 몇 차원 다른 trip 새로운 눈을 뜨고 let me know begin feel so free 원한 손에 파도 eyes all open see 그 안에 진짜 차원이 달라 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 올라갈 준비해. Yeah, I wanna make it big. Wanna tell them 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 대로운 세계로.
I mean, he saw you, come on.
점점점 세계 중 하나 펑 골라 1, 2, 3 시작된 power 현실이던 가상이던 내가 team from beat 다 이겨는 싸움이야 갖다 버려 phobias hit the mismatch 어차피 결과는 안 봐도 great game 너 그리고 너 go get it bang bang any money more goes wanna that this yeah feel so free 원한 손에 파도 eyes all open see 그 안에 진짜 차원이 달라 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 올라갈 준비해. Yeah, I wanna make it big. Wanna tell them 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 대로운 세계로 join 선을 그어 나던 레벨이 교착 아무도 믿지 마 너만이 유일한 걸 어차피 여기다 이럴지 몰라 Lord all this fiction 겁먹지 마
Come on.
있잖아 여기 모든 게 더 free we got this
Whoa, this sounds amazing, but I'm so distracted by the actual video, like these bunch of assholes bullying him. Oh my god, this sounds nasty. Oh, they're both gonna get their asses beat. No? Oh, he's a badass.
차원이 달라 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 올라갈 준비해. Yeah, I wanna make it big. Wanna tell them 베레 지금 놀라 베레 비라 대로운 세계로 join 선을 그어 나던 레벨이 교착점.
This is literally KB and oh my god, they're repeating the cycle almost as if holy. Okay, so before we continue, I looked up the name of the 6th member of OnlyOneOf. Apparently it's 9, and I had to make sure because I was like, is it 9 or Nine? And I was like, for a second, they were a little bit confused, but apparently it's 9. I checked out the Hangul pronunciation, so hopefully I'm correct on that one. And the fact that this freaking phone booth is like the phone booth represents either the beginning or the ending of the various relationships throughout the series. Like the phone booth represented KB true inception, like when KB was the one who was vulnerable, where I felt like KB was the one who was closed off, and Yujan was the one who is patient and is waiting for KB to express himself, and KB by being incredibly vulnerable, whether he was drunk or whatever the case was, where he threw himself at Yujang in that freaking phone booth. Then with Rie and Junji, the phone booth represented almost like the sunset on their relationship in a way. And here, the phone booth almost like represents a sacrifice of sorts, because Nine stuck his neck out for Mill when he protected him, and then they ran away. And then those bullies probably caught him, which we'll probably see in the next music video from his perspective, but they probably caught him, from behind or something, jumped him and whatnot, and beat him to a bloody pulp. And it's almost like the way he throws himself at Mill is a very similar way that KB threw himself at Yujan. I really like the fact that obviously within like high school dramas and whatnot, this is very familiar. The bullies will bully the one, the silent kid, or the kid who is a little bit different. And here the difference is like he is very much, drawing another man. He's probably they're bullying him for being different, which is to me like a representation of like the world that is trying to suppress you. Because in that part of the world where they are from, this whole storyline and expressing these various feelings is not necessarily something that is very mainstream and something that is very much talked about. So they're taking quite the gamble in expressing their support for a relationship that isn't conventional, so to speak. And literally the lyrics say, I want to tell them beat it. Like all of the haters, the world that sees me as different and I should change. No, beat it. As if fuck off, almost as if. And also the beat of the heartbeat when I see you, and the way that he feels when he draws them so beautifully. And then when he caught Nine staring at him, he tried to hide himself, almost like I don't want the world to see me. Almost like incorporating a little bit of Rie and Yujang. Why am I saying Junji? And Yujan into his own character, because it's like he has feelings, but at the same time, he doesn't want those feelings to be too known. He's afraid of what these feelings may cause. And the cause is those freaking bullies that are going to jump you and bully you for your desires and for you being different, which is a really cool double meaning, because bullying in high schools happens all the time, and we see that in movies all the freaking time as well. But in this case, like the fact that Nine kind of protected him, and then he paid the price for Mill's interest in him. Like there's something very pure and beautiful between them. It's just like kind of like love at first sight in a way. And like the fact that we also see like these neon colors and whatnot, which is almost like a representation of the rainbow colors, which is really, really cool. Like wanting to tell those who put us down, beat it, because you do not control my world. There's literally a line saying welcome to the new world or something, join to the new world. And I really like the line that says draw a line and there will be an intersection on another level. Like it's almost like whatever road you take, there will be an intersection, there will be another. It's almost like 2 points that are crossing each other in a way, like driving on an intersection. And the fact that it's on another level, as we see Nine being busted up, it's almost like by them crossing each other's paths, it led to something beautiful, like the relationship between them, but it also led to something on another level, much like these lyrics suggest, that he got beat for protecting him, for stepping outside of his own road essentially. Like those bullies wanted to take out Mill, and he drove on that same road essentially, and he crossed that intersection. And then he was met with an ass whooping on the other side. There's also lines that say, choosing 1, 2, 3, starting factions. And also, it's a battle won anyway, get rid of phobias. As far as like, as we see the bullies that come across Mel. And by the way, those bullies look like they're 45. So, great music video, but those guys look like they belong more so in a foster care home rather than a high school. But in any case, phobia as far as what the bullies have against Mel and the fact that he's drawing another guy and he clearly is into him. As also like the scene in the sunset where he is drawing him, and like the feeling of warmth and just the feeling of almost like euphoria that those two have when they're together and they're smiling at each other, but also phobias as far as your own fears, much like when Mill kind of looked away when Nine caught him staring at him, which is also something that we saw with Yujong and KB, if I'm not mistaken, right? And the phobia with Rie, for example, as well, who was afraid of showing that relationship to the public. So it's not just the phobia that other people have against a relationship of two people of the same gender, but also your own phobia that you're afraid of showing those emotions and whatnot. The repetitive nature of the chorus is actually, I feel like it's kind of like intentional. It's almost like no matter what you say, there will always be someone that says something negative about this relationship, about that has a phobia and whatnot against you, and is wants to put you down, even though they don't know why they hate you. Much like those bullies in essence. And the fact that he constantly says, beat him, beat it and beat him, like whatever happens, the battle is won anyway, and we know who will prevail. Love will essentially kind of prevail. I feel like that's why the chorus has a bit of like this repetitive nature to it. So it's like you're trying to kind of like convince yourself in a way that no matter what, everything is going to be okay, and I'm going to win this battle. As they're in this high school, and I'm very, very excited over college, and I'm very excited to see how Mill's side, not Mill's, Nine's side of the story kind of unfolds here. But yeah, overall, this song was awesome. It might be my second favorite. I'm not really sure. Maybe even off the top of my head, might be at the moment my favorite song out of the series so far. It was really, really, really awesome. KB's song was still probably the best, and then Yujong, and then Mill. But right now, I'll probably pick Mill just because of that instrumental, and I really liked his delivery, and his rap lines were really, really cool. The cadence, the flow, and everything was really, really awesome, and the storytelling throughout what is, in essence, like another day, unfortunately, for a high school kid or whatever, in the school system who is different. And just the fact that they're using like an attraction of two people of the same gender, and it's kind of like the bullies are punishing you for being unique in a way, was a really cool touch, almost like a second meaning to the music video, I feel like. But I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If I made any sense, let me know in the comment section down below. Obviously, once we get to the final music video, I'll probably kind of like uh, think a little bit more about everything that I said in this video, and I'll look at your comments and everything else that you guys mentioned, because, the thoughts that I have now will probably change after I see some of you guys' comments, because, you're probably like watching this music video for the second and third and whatever time. So this is just like kind of like my first impression based on the first listen, and just there's a lot of lyrics here, obviously, as it's more of a rap song than anything else. So there's a lot of things to kind of dissect, but just the overall story from the actual video is what I really kind of wanted to focus on, and a little bit of the lyrics, which kind of correlate with some of the visuals. And overall, this was really, really wonderful. And the fact that that phone booth is like an intricate part of the entire storyline. The phone booth is almost like its own character by this point, which is a really, really beautiful touch. And the fact that all of these tragic or positive things are happening at that phone booth and how symbolic that phone booth is really, really cool. So they did a phenomenal job with the storytelling here, and the callbacks and all of that. It was really, really cool. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, and if I made any sense, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will catch you all in the next one. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you later. Peace.